Hello, everybody. It's Monday, the 5th of June, and this is WTF Nation Radio's Monday edition. Hey, how's it going? I'm Redleg. I'm sorry about the late start. I had to grab a cup of coffee. I neglected to do that. So I had to get up and go get some coffee before I officially started the show. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me here tonight. Minx is my co-host, and she's experiencing technical difficulties. Oh, now I can hear myself.
So had to get up and go get some coffee before.
Holy smoke. That's weird. Why can't I hear myself?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's so weird. Oh. Thank you. That's, hey, thanks. I appreciate that, Sergeant Bad A. That sound is what's played anytime anybody follows the channel on Mixer. Mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio, which is a good place to watch, I think. And very, very handy when the games start in the third hour of tonight's show.
Yay.
Yay. Minx, did you make it? Are you here?
I don't know. Am I still here?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me.
Look, everybody, there's Minx. She's cold and bundled up.
It's fucking freezing in this goddamn house.
Yeah, she said it's in the mid-60s, which is comfortable for me. Right in the... Oh, hey! Oh, thank you, Pip.
What just happened?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't think the... I don't think... Oh, maybe you guys can hear it. The listening audience can hear that. Okay, great. Good. I'm glad. That way, we all know that people are following our Mixer channel. Mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio. Coming on tonight's show, I am borderline, like, fanboying here. Man fanning? Fan manning.
Sounds good.
Anning.
Man fanning. Sure. Captain Dale Dye is going to be on the show. I've been watching this dude on TV for years. Hey, thank you, Redacted. Isn't that great? Later in the show, when we get to the party games, there'll be some cool graphics that pop up also.
Oh, nice.
To accompany the sound effects. Isn't that nice? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Captain Dale Dye. He's a certified badass. A lot of people recognize him from television. He was in Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, Range 15, to name a few. I'm probably gonna have to put a stop to that shit. It's gonna go all night. Thank you, Sergeant Hobby. Thanks for the follow. I've been watching this dude, and I've watched him on the History Channel, the Military Channel, the movies he was in. He's been a military consultant on a lot of major motion pictures. But what a lot of people don't know is that he's actually a badass. He was in the Marine Corps from 1964 to 1984, 20 years. And a lot of people are like, but he retired as a captain? Yes, he did. He enlisted in the Marine Corps as a private. Worked his way up to master sergeant, then to warrant officer. Then he got his commission, and by the time he made it to captain, 20 years later, it was time to retire. He's the recipient of the... Oh, my God. Thank you, D-Max. Christ on a bike. He's the recipient of the Bronze Star Medal with V-Device. That's a big deal, which he earned during a firefight with NVA soldiers on March 18th, 1968. And during that firefight, he earned the second of his 3 Purple Hearts, the first of which was earned during the Tet Offensive. During his 3 tours in Vietnam, Captain Dye participated in 31 combat operations. He's now an actor, director, and producer, and has been part of many films over the decades, including, like I've already said, Saving Private Ryan. He was in Platoon, Rules of Engagement, Band of Brothers, Starship Troopers, and Range 15, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm really stoked to have Captain Dye on the show tonight. This is a big deal for me.
Like, I know you are not the only one who's like man fanning over this.
Yeah. Manning.
Like, because I know it's like fangirling.
Right? I think we may have coined a term.
Fangirling over this. Like.
I think we may have coined a term. Man fanning. It's something that ICE came up with. Is it man fanning or fan manning? Are the two interchangeable?
I think honestly the two can be interchangeable. Like, does it have to be one or the other?
Right. I like how they're man fanning and fan manning both. That's pretty sweet.
Fan manning.
Everybody wants the Mixer link. Mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio. The reason Mixer is a big deal is because when we play the party games, it virtually eliminates the lag. So it's more interactive and real time for the participants. If you haven't played any of the games yet, you've been missing out. Everybody gets to participate. All you need is a web browser and somewhere to watch it. Isn't that sweet?
It's a good time.
It is a good time. Everybody has fun.
If you're super witty, I would highly suggest Quiplash.
Oh, yeah, Quiplash. That's a good one.
If you're good
That's
with
my favorite.
Trivia, like the murder trivia, that one's my favorite.
Yeah, Trivia Murder Party's a lot of fun, too. And Drawful, we haven't played in a while. I think I may break out Drawful tonight.
Oh.
Make everybody draw a bunch of really bad-looking stuff.
Everyone just normally draws dicks, let's be honest.
There's a lot of dicks when we play Drawful. You're right. You're absolutely right.
We're a mature group.
Tomorrow night on the show, Tied Up Tuesday with Minx and Cuffs, Anthony Thomas is going to be back from Guardians of Old Glory to let us know what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to him. I know he's been on, twice before, but he's always been on Jim Beam's and Jay Reddy's show. So it'll be nice to, talk to him myself.
We've got a lot of returning guests this week, including tomorrow night is Anthony Thomas from Guardians of Old Glory. Wednesday on What the Fuck Wednesday with Jim Beam, it's going to be Darren Friedel from the Veterans Ride Therapy Project. And that's kind of by design that he's on Jim Beam's show because Jim's big into riding.
He is.
He was on the show back. Darren was on the show back in April and is going to be on to talk about the progress of the bike that they're giving away to a veteran who's having issues with PTSD. They're giving away a motorcycle. They're building and giving away a motorcycle.
Now, was this guy already picked out, or is that going to be decided on a later date? I don't remember.
That I'm unsure of.
Actually, from my understanding, they've already stopped accepting applications.
Yes.
So they haven't announced who's getting it yet. And they will reveal that in, I think it's either the first or second week of August at some biker bar in Sturgis.
Some biker bar in Sturgis.
Yeah.
Nice.
What is that?
What's going on, Minx? Are you okay? You having problems?
Well, where the fuck is Sturgis?
Oh, it's in
South Dakota?
South Dakota or North Dakota. It's one of the two Dakotas.
Random. Oh, okay.
You don't know about Sturgis, huh?
No, I don't.
Oh, my God.
You're welcome.
Coming up Friday on Friday Night Freedom with me. Jerry Ann Saylor's going to be back on to talk about her new single that she's producing and when it will be released. And
nice.
she was on at the beginning of May. If for those of you in the listening audience who may have missed that, she's done a veteran-oriented cover of Leonard Cohen's classic "Hallelujah" that a lot of people like. Yes. And then let's see, what do we got here? Sunday, June 11th. On the Green Room with Jason and Charlie, our friend Boone Cutler is going to be on. He's been on the show before, once or twice.
I think so, yeah.
And so Boone's an Army veteran, and he does terrestrial radio. And he's a huge veteran advocate. And he's going to be representing Warfighter Hemp in their mission to promote the health, wellness, and independence of our nation's citizens, with a particular emphasis on the warriors who've sacrificed so much for the rest of us. Warfighter Hemp is proud to donate 50% of all profits directly to veteran charities, providing real support that'll fill the gaps that currently exist in the veterans' healthcare system. And so, kind of in line with that, Arlene in the Facebook live chat says, can someone tell me about Senate Bill 1094 supposedly privatizing the VA? This is the first I've heard of that.
Same here.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
I don't know.
Somebody might want to do some digging and read the language of Senate Bill 1094 to see if, in fact, there's anything in there about the privatization of the Veterans Administration. I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not the VA should be privatized. I really am. I think financially it's a good move. Let me see. I think I may have my wires crossed. I think administratively it's a good move. Financially, I think that I don't think the government can fund this and not have a hand in running it. We're not going to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely not.
But I got to tell you, I think that if the VA was privatized, that things would probably move a lot smoother. Simply because with any government agency, the red tape, the bureaucracy kind of takes on a life of its own, to the point that even the major screw ups, even the major shitheads within the VA can't be fired because of the process. I mean, it's a big deal to fire somebody from a government job. Johan wants to know how to get to Funky Town. I don't know, dude. Been a long time since I've been to Funky Town. I forgot the way.
It's weird.
Was it yesterday? Was Miss Pat's birthday yesterday?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Yes. Our friend, Miss Pat, Patricia Brown from the War Horses for Veterans Foundation's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Miss Pat, if you're watching.
Happy birthday, Miss Pat.
She's awesome.
Mama Pat.
Oh, yeah. Mama Pat.
God.
Go check out War Horses for Veterans at warhorsesforveterans.org if you're a combat veteran and would like to go through the program free of charge at no cost, and I mean no cost to you. Go fill out the application, and they'll get you out there. I think they've got one running this weekend, is what she told me today.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, I want to go.
But I think of course you want to go. I think that WTF Nation Radio set the standard for how much fun it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think so. But I still want to go, though.
Let's look across the pond.
Oh, to London.
Yes. I think everybody knows what happened there. What I want to talk about first is what Dakota Meyer had to say about it on Fox and Friends this morning.
Oh, that guy.
Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer. Oh, that guy?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knocked up Sarah Palin's daughter and then left her.
Listen, nobody's
and
perfect.
then got back together with her.
This is not Entertainment Tonight. I'm talking about something he said on Fox and Friends.
That's what he did, though. He fucking knocked her up and then, I don't know, fucking realized that the kid was his and got married her, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Johan wants to know if we heard about the government contractor that got caught leaking classified information to media about the Russian leaks investigation. As a matter of fact, I did hear about that, Johan. Yes. Let's see here. This morning, Dakota Meyer opened his mouth to react to Saturday night's terror attack in London, in which 7 people were killed and 48 others were injured. He says this reinforces the need for the United States to take the fight to ISIS, which has claimed responsibility for the horrific terror attack. And no disagreement there. I don't think we're doing enough offensively.
No, not at all.
He says this is going to continue until we do something to stop it. You can't go in your house and hide. Meyer said we should be thankful as a nation that we have a president like Donald Trump who recognizes the threat. Okay, he recognizes the threat, as do many of us. But what's he going to do about it? That's the big question, I think. He goes on to say, we have a man there who is not a bureaucrat, who's going to be there to protect our country and puts our country first. But he's met with roadblocks.
Yeah.
every time he turns around. And I think at this point, I mean, this may just be me thinking this, but I think at this point that those who oppose him are opposing him simply because he's Donald Trump and not because of his stance on certain things and, because he's a Republican and for all the other reasons that they may oppose him. It's just because they don't like him.
I have to agree with you on that. I think simply because it is Donald, like legit, he could come out tomorrow and cure cancer and hepatitis or fucking whatever, and people are still gonna be like, oh fuck Trump. It's like I'm pretty sure
They would be upset that the wrong kind of cancer got cured.
But I mean, like,
You're right. I mean, that's fun. It's funny.
I mean,
That's a weird,
it's
funny analogy,
true,
but you're
though,
true. You're
No
it's
matter-
absolutely true.
like these people are in this mindset that no matter what he does, no matter what good he does, simply the fact that it is from him and he's the one who fucking did it, they're gonna fucking disagree with it. And it's gonna be wrong and it's gonna be bad and it's wrong.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
Pip, I take offense to your snarky comment about curing male baldness in men because, well, I mean, there's two reasons I take offense to that. Number one, I have this whole baldness thing going on. But the other thing I don't like about it is that you said cure male baldness in men. Are you going to cure male baldness in women? Come on, Pip. Step up your
maybe.
insult game.
I mean, what if they're trans? You don't know. No.
Let's refer to the chromosomes.
I mean, the man could cure prostate cancer, and they would fucking protest and bitch that he did not cure breast cancer.
How am I going to get a finger up the butt if prostate cancer is cured? That's how they
Right.
check for that, right?
Yes, that
Yes.
is how to check for that.
Right.
Right? I mean, if you really want a finger up the butt that bad, I'm sure Mrs. Redleg would be happy to oblige.
Well, but I don't want Mrs. Redleg to stick her finger in my butt.
Well,
I want to.
I don't know, but you seem excited to get that.
Yeah,
so
but
I
Mrs.
don't-
Redleg and I share the same bed. I want a thrill.
Oh, you want the stranger danger.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're picking up what I'm putting down.
What the fuck?
Dakota Meyer says that terrorists are trying to change our way of life, but they underestimate the resiliency of the American people. You've got plenty of men and women who will wear the nation's cloth and who are willing to go over and do this ass kicking that needs to be done, he says.
Mm-hmm.
He argued that political correctness impedes our ability to combat radical Islamic terror. The last administration wouldn't even call this radical Islam, he said. This isn't a war on Muslims or Christians. It's not a war on one religion. This is a war on terrorism. It's time to get busy. I agree. To an extent. You don't?
No,
Oh, okay.
don't
All right.
know.
It was just it was a of agreement or yes.
Quite. No, I think how do I put this? I think he likes to talk a big game, but he doesn't really do anything with it,
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna be that guy. I'll be the dickhead, and I want I want everybody's opinion here. I want everybody to respond. That means you people who are watching on Facebook Live and those of you who are watching on Mixer. Hi, by the way, I see you on Mixer. Does the fact that this dude does the fact that this dude received the Medal of Honor make him an authority on anything, and should his opinion matter more than the next person's?
No. God.
No to both?
Yes.
I agree. I want to see what everybody else says.
That's awesome. Congratulations on winning the Medal of Honor.
Well-
Obviously you did some badass shit to
Right.
get that. I'm not taking that away from him at all. I'm not taking away his accomplishments while he was in the Marine Corps to where he earned the Medal of Honor. That's amazing. The fact that it's not a posthumous Medal of Honor. Even
Posthumous.
More so. Whatever that thing.
Oh my
Fucking
God.
weird.
I got a vein sticking out of the side of my head now. Jeez.
But still, you know, like just because you have received a Medal of Honor does not mean that you are the subject matter expert when it comes to really anything.
Exactly.
So stop with just talking and be more, I don't know, like to me it's actions. Like actions mean more to me than words. Like you can tell me something all day, every day, but if your actions aren't backing that up, then it's just words, you know?
I think that, unfortunately for Dakota, the fact that he was awarded the Medal of Honor has, in the eyes of the people of this country, bestowed upon him some weird form of pseudo-celebrity on par with maybe some other people who, I don't know, throw somebody out there. That's a celebrity, but probably either shouldn't be or doesn't want to be.
Kathy Griffin.
Who?
Kathy Griffin.
Oh yeah, no, that hooker.
Oh, my
I was
God.
gonna say Jenny McCartney.
Jenny McCarthy? Yeah.
I mean-
Okay. I mean,
Claims she's the subject matter expert on vaccines and how they link to autism, which, you know, for me, I now question your, I don't know, ability and aptitude to be a parent, and the fact that you would rather your child have a physical deformity and or like scarring all over their body and or I don't know, fucking die from a preventable disease than have autism.
so when I asked when I asked you to throw a name out there, I got from Pip, I got Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton, and from Sergeant Batty, I got Matt Best. So all of you is Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton. Oh, D-Max says Katy Perry. Well, okay. Katy Perry is a musician. Love her or hate her, she worked at to get where she is. Kim Kardashian, no. Paris Hilton, no. Matt
Well,
Best,
just sex tapes.
Matt Best put in some work to get where he is. Well, sex tapes. I mean, how much? I got a whole fuckload of sex tapes with me in them.
Like they didn't fucking put work to get like where they are. They're famous for being famous. Like
Exactly.
they, what have you done?
So-
Nothing.
So if I leak my fucking sex tapes,
I mean, I don't know if Mrs. Redleg would be okay with that, but I mean,
who
good
said
luck.
Mrs. Redleg's in any of them?
Oh, I mean, okay.
Listen, I'm 40 years old, and cameras have been around for a while. You know, video cameras, and
Do you remember when you had to like stand really still while the the light captured the image?
But anyway, no, I'm not trying to take anything away from Dakota Meyer. I think anybody who receives the Medal of Honor has definitely done something heroic and should be recognized for it. But I'll say in the same breath that I don't think that makes him an expert on anything. Listen, there are guys and gals who have spent their entire lives dedicated to the study of diplomacy or politics or counterterrorism or anything that makes them experts. So I think maybe there's some weird idea that fame and notoriety somehow equates to skill and knowledge, and they don't. But in the eyes of the American people, anybody whose face has been on TV for more than a few seconds somehow now is an expert in something. That would be like calling me an expert at anything, and I'm not. I'm an expert at goofing off.
You set up my computer and all my buttons.
That was dumb luck that all that happened to. Yeah, I mean, we got it right, and I'm thankful for that. I'm trying to take my face off the screen for a minute so I can pick my nose.
How's that working out for you?
Good. I'm mining one out here.
Oh, okay.
It's in there deep. Give me a second.
But yeah. So I found another article about the London terror attack. Well, one, let's just throw it out there. Like when I first shared like, oh, something happened in London, like, oh, don't want to, like, can't call it what it is because, that would be, I don't know, what's the right
Politically
word?
incorrect?
But profiling, and profiling's wrong, but called it. But this is what, the third attack in as many days, because the London thing happened Saturday, and then yesterday was an attack down in Melbourne that ISIS has also taken claim of. And then there was that shooting in Orlando, which, again, I don't want to like jump to conclusions because that's fucking wrong, but everybody knows what caused it. But apparently this attacker in London was a known extremist who was filmed unfurling an ISIS flag in a Channel 4 documentary.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
MI5 and police faced growing pressure today over whether the London Bridge murders could have been prevented after it emerged that at least one of the attackers was a known extremist who had been reported to the authorities. They misspelled neighbors. They put a U in there. Fucking
You must
British.
be reading one of those British website newspapers that they don't know how to spell English
They're
words.
made up English.
Neighbors.
Colors, right? Is that how it's pronounced with the extra fucking letter?
Coolers. All right. As you read this story, I'm just going to sit here with this cup of coffee and imagine that I'm Kermit the Frog. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, make sure to get some popcorn too that you can eat.
I know, popcorn and coffee. Oof.
Anyways, neighbors in the block of flats in Barkingware, Abe's, I don't know. One of the 3 alleged terrorists lived said that he had been thrown out of his local mosque because of his views and had a reputation for aggressive behavior. Again, with the extra letter. There were further claims that he had twice been reported to police over fears about his extremism, and that police had last month secretly recorded Islamic State-inspired plotters in Barking talking about mounting a van and knife attack. Footage of the killer, who is understood to be age 27 and of Pakistani heritage, has also emerged from a Channel 4 documentary last year in which he is seen among a group of radicals unveiling an Islamic State flag in a London park. Question. Why are any of these people still in London and or England? Why? Why?
Hang on, hold on a second. Wait a second.
Yes.
Wait.
Drink that coffee. Right? None of my business, but
yes.
Other film of him berating police outside a mosque has also been published. Whitehall sources and police offered no immediate response to the claims, which means it's probably true. Meanwhile, one of David Cameron's former senior aides today called for Theresa May to resign for security failures over London Bridge and the other recent terror attacks.
What?
What?
You mean they're trying to hold someone accountable for failing to protect the citizens of their country?
Oh my God! And you notice it's not the Queen.
Inconceivable.
She's just a symbol. That's it.
Yes. Please continue. Yes.
In a series of highly critical tweets. Ooh, yeah, that's right. Take to Twitter. That'll show them. In a series of highly critical tweets, Steve Hilton said that the Prime Minister was, quote, responsible for security failures of London Bridge, Manchester, and Westminster Bridge, and should be resigning, not seeking re-election. He accused her of, quote, blame shifting again, saying her spin doctors attack MI5, but she was in charge of them for years, and hit out further by describing the killers as known wolves. He also retweeted a post about one of the attackers in which another Twitter user complained that it couldn't have been more clear that he was a terrorist. Yeah. and then it keeps going.
Excuse me while I have some more of my coffee. And but that's none of my business.
It's none of my business, but
I'm gonna have to switch to tea, I guess.
right, you're gonna have to.
Yeah. If I'm gonna do my Kermit the Frog impression. Hi-ho.
Oh shit. So this dude is among 23,000 potential suspects logged on MI5's database.
Really?
As was the Westminster killer, although neither was regarded as an immediate threat before they carried out their murders. Well, no shit. No one's considered an immediate threat until after they do something.
I mean,
if
what?
they're on the fucking watch list, get them the fuck out. Like,
Right.
that's...
Yeah, he gave he gave
us.
us no warning signs that he was about to murder a bunch of people. Well, no fucking shit, because then that kind of ruins the whole thing, right? For them. Then they get arrested, they don't get to carry out their plot.
Right? There's no more surprise.
Oh my god. Well,
but I mean,
yeah, let's see. Do you guys remember Clay Higgins? The captain from the was it Cato Parish? No, it wasn't Cato Parish. One of the parishes in Louisiana. He was a captain on the sheriff's department who had all the videos, like daring people to do stupid shit, so him and the fucking SWAT team could come fuck their shit up. You remember that guy?
no.
You don't?
No.
Oh, you don't know who Clay Higgins is?
No.
Oh, you got to go look up some of his videos on YouTube.
God damn it! Now I need to. Like, I need to now.
Well, now he is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, and he says, because he's such a badass.
Well, obviously.
Quote, not a single radicalized Islamic suspect should be granted any measure of quarter. Their intended entry to the American homeland should be summarily denied. Every conceivable measure should be engaged to hunt them down. Hunt them, identify them, and kill them. Kill them all. For the sake of all that is good and righteous, kill them all. End quote.
I like it.
Yes, currently a member of the United States House of Representatives.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he's going to get along great with Mad Dog.
Indeed, he is.
Kill them all.
So, they are likening this dude to another Republican politician who rode a populist wave to Washington this year. Also with a penchant for making controversial statements off the cuff.
Ooh.
Who's that? Who would that guy be? President Donald Trump, maybe? Yes. It seems like maybe the tide is turning just a little bit, especially with all this terrorism. Now, surely not everybody believes that ISIS is responsible for carrying out these attacks. Of course they're not. But are they influential? Absolutely. Are they going to claim responsibility? Of course. It furthers their agenda. It fits their narrative. So, of course, ISIS is going to claim responsibility for these attacks. And, this is all good for them. And they're influencing, of course. Whether they are directly responsible for carrying out these attacks or not, I think is immaterial because they're an influence. So I don't know how many of you agree. Kill them all, according to Clay Higgins. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah. But, like it or not, the kill them all scorched earth fucking policy would eliminate the terrorism. If there's nobody there to be a terrorist, then it stops.
Just saying.
I think I still have one sip of coffee left here. Let's see. That's none of my business. Oh my God. This fucking headache. I've been nursing a headache for almost 5 hours now. But enough about me. Democrats are reportedly fed up with Hillary Clinton's litany of excuses for losing the 2016 election and are asking her to step out of the limelight.
For real. She needs to just go back to the goddamn woods. Like, nobody asked her to fucking return. Nobody likes you. Stay away, fat man.
The consensus among former Clinton aides, former Obama aides, and Democratic strategists is that Clinton's remarks blaming the Democratic National Committee and others for her election loss are hurting her image and the image of the Democratic Party. She's apparently still really, really angry. I mean, we all are. Yeah. The election was stolen from her, and that's how she feels. One longtime Clinton aide said. But to go out there publicly again and again and talk about it and then blame the DNC, it's not helpful to Democrats. It's not helpful to the country, and I don't think it's helpful to her, the aide said. Basically, to summarize here, the Democratic Party wishes Hillary Clinton would fuck off and shut up because, well, I mean, that's what I'm reading, more or less. I mean, not in so many words, but they're wishing she would go away because she's hurting the image. Like, she's the one that's hurting the image of the Democratic Party. I mean, she's not helping, but she is not.
She's acting like a psycho ex-girlfriend who won't go away.
Yes.
No, like, that's what she's acting like. She keeps bringing up the past, like, oh, you know, he did this to me. It's like, God, we get it. Just shut up already.
Give that bitch a plunger. Bitches love bringing up old shit.
No, because someone will probably end up having to dig it out of her ass later.
Former DNC data director Andrew Theriault was a lot less restrained in his criticism of Clinton, calling her accusations against the DNC, quote, fucking bullshit, end quote.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, because Cuffs and I was talking about this article, an article similar to this on Friday, saying how he's going to end up missing because he spoke out against Hillary Clinton. So in like 2 weeks, he's going to commit suicide by 2 shots to the back of the head.
Oh my God.
We're putting squares on it. And I couldn't pronounce his last name. So I was like, Andrew, fuck his last name. Because I couldn't do it. But you did great. You're so good with words.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be good at something, even if it's the only thing I'm good at. Words.
Yeah, words.
Clinton has also gone on the record blaming former FBI Director James Comey, the Russians, the press, and her primary and general election opponents, and even sexism for her election loss. She's blaming everyone and everything
but
except for the fact that Electoral College worked and she's a twat and she didn't get elected.
Twats. I think twats being a little too nice and generous.
Cunt?
Like, let's be honest. Yeah, cunt. She's a straight up cunt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. She needs to just go away. There comes a time in your life, or your career, possibly your hobby, maybe even this, where everybody's sick of me. I mean, people are sick of Hillary, and she just needs to go away. I hope and pray to everything and everyone that if you, the listening audience, and you, the viewing audience, ever get completely sick of me and my shit, that you would let me know, and that I would heed that, and I would just fuck off into oblivion and never come back because you're tired of me. And Hillary, please, go away. The people of the United States of America are sick of you. I'm sick of looking at your haggard, ugly ass face, and I know that's shallow, but I am sick of your face. I'm sick of your screeching nails on a chalkboard voice. I'm sick of you shifting the blame and deflecting. I'm sick of you not accepting responsibility for all the fucked up shit you've done in your life. People are just sick of you. Go away. Enjoy your sunset years. Your husband...
God, seriously, he looks like he's about to die.
Yes.
Like, what kind of disease does that man have?
He doesn't have a disease. He's been living with Hillary Clinton for most of his life.
I mean, obviously, she's a fucking life sucker.
She's a succubus.
Succubus are like hot though, and they're fucking female demons that come and have sex with men in their sleep. Like, they're hot. She's not a succubus.
Okay, got it. Okay.
She's cancer. Slowly killing Bill Clinton.
She's
Bill
fucking. Oh, she sucks.
Ugh. Right? That awkward moment when Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are the same age, and Donald Trump's like, and Bill Clinton's like, you mean I could have had someone like Melania? Son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
Well, you know, we all make stupid decisions when we're young, and that was his.
Yeah.
Right. On to Florida, because, you know, no night is complete without reading some fucked up news story out of Florida. I actually had more than one, but I settled on this one.
Oh.
Shocking video has emerged of a naked man masturbating while straddling the top of a construction digger's arm on a highway.
What?
The video, which appears to have been shot from a moving car on a Miami Beach highway on Sunday, shows the unnamed man standing at the top of a cat digger, and it's a track hoe, is what it is. I saw it.
Okay.
I seen it.
You seen it?
As the car passes by the man, it becomes increasingly clear that he is naked and pleasuring himself.
Oh.
The video, which was uploaded to LiveLeak for all of you perverts to go watch, go watch it, shows the car's occupants cheering as they realize what's happening. But those on the ground are likely less joyful about the situation. They include a team of construction workers and Florida Highway Patrol officers. Here's the one line of the story that doesn't make any sense to me.
All right, I'm waiting.
Exactly why the man is touching himself is unclear. Well,
I mean,
have you tried it?
I mean,
It's pretty awesome.
Doctor, but when you masturbate, it's to give yourself pleasure.
It feels good.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's why everyone fucking does it. But why? I think what they're wondering is like why he did it out in public, and especially on top of like
Construction equipment?
That I don't know. He could be into
Exhibitionism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Or maybe he's helping out all of the voyeurs that were passing underneath.
Possibly.
Like, you don't know. You don't know. Just let the man do his thing. I wouldn't stand directly underneath because, once he gets off, like, you don't know where the fuck it's gonna go. So, like, don't look up. I don't know.
Evidently, the LiveLeak uploader suggested it might be due to a hell of a drug. Yes. A spokesperson for the Miami Beach Police Department said they have no record of the incident. Is that a fact? Well, it's on video.
Right? It's on video now, bitches.
It's on LiveLeak. That may be why the viewership just dropped. Everybody went to go look at the video of this dude jerking it on top of the
see it now.
this Traco. Good. Go get an eyeful. Report back and let us know how it was for you. And if you'd like to play along at home, just whip it out and yeah.
Pip was like, I was just directing traffic. Fucking Pip.
John Op4 says, Frank, is that bird shit? No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Bird just skated all over us. Oh, wait, it's not a bird.
Like,
An 83-year-old woman, and I took issue with the headline of this article because it's not entirely accurate. Now, I'll get into it after I read the story. An 83-year-old Texas woman is back home after she was arrested by the Transportation Security Administration at Wichita's Eisenhower National Airport last week. It's not entirely accurate. The TSA has no arrest power, so she may have been I don't know,
like detained,
turned over to the local police. Lila Bryan was at the airport Wednesday, headed back to Texas after attending her 65-year class reunion, when an airport security officer tried to confiscate her bottle of hand soap because it exceeded the 3.4-ounce limit. These goddamn TSA. I hate those motherfuckers. She became upset, and a scuffle ensued.
Oh, a scuffle.
She said she was tired and forgot to take her medication, which may have contributed to the situation. They put me in the holding cell, and it was so cold in there, she said afterward. This 83-year-old woman. Yeah, Meemaw. It was just
I feel your pain, Nana.
it was just blowing cold air constantly, and everything was cement in there. You sat on cement, the floor was cement, the walls were cement. Sedgwick County District Attorney Mark Bennett says his office authorized her release without bond after finding out about her arrest. Good guy, DA, let her go.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to pursue the charges, but she was released from the jail. The fucking TSA and their stupid ass rules. 3.4 ounce limit on liquids. Oh, fuck out of here. That's so dumb. I mean,
That's still a good amount, though. Like,
so yeah, I'm going to blow the plane up with my 3.5 ounce fucking
Right,
bottle of hand
obviously.
soap. Jesus
that
Christ.
extra ounce counts, right? That's what guys always say when they're talking about their dick, right? That extra inch is there.
Well,
Is it?
Let's say you have 6.8 ounces of hand soap and you want to bring all of it on the plane. What do you do?
Yes.
You put it in 2 different bottles and it's fine.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the dumbest shit ever. If you somehow, all right, let's say you have binary explosives. Are you familiar with this term, binary explosives?
Maybe.
All right, you have to mix 2 things together to make it explosive.
Okay, well, yes, that makes sense.
And so I got 3.4 ounces of one half of these binary explosives and another 3.4 ounces, in another bottle.
Yes.
I could bring them through the TSA checkpoint and get on a plane and mix them together
Yes.
and then blow the fucking plane up that
And
way.
then it goes boom.
Right.
Yes.
But the TSA is all good because, I had 2 different 3.4 ounce bottles. Fucking TSA is retarded. What a colossal waste of taxpayer dollars.
I mean, have they stopped?
to check your asshole. It's so stupid. The fucking TSA. I got groped coming back from Kansas because my jeans had a fucking a metal button on the pocket. So you go through the fucking scanner where they're totally checking you out because it sees through your clothes and somebody's looking at you. And because I had this metal button on my pocket, I had to get felt up by this big black dude.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was totally okay with. The dude's
Right,
just doing his
would
job,
be.
but not like that. The dude's just doing his job. I didn't want to give him a hard time. But as a whole, the TSA is fucking a joke, man. And now they've, in an unrelated article, they have they've made their pat downs more invasive
Oh, they have.
and more
They
aggressive.
use the back of their hand.
Yeah, now they can use the palm of your hand to squeeze your butt
Yeah.
cheeks instead
No,
of
I every time I go through, like, I have to, because I've got
randomly
like, shit in the
selected.
back of my jeans. I end up getting like felt up everywhere, and I'm like, well, was it good for you? Like, we got like, you gonna wine and dine me next? Like, come
ma'am.
on.
Ma'am, could
I'm
you step over here,
constantly-
please?
I expect dinner first,
Step over here, please, ma'am. You've been randomly selected.
right? But like, it's gotten to the point now where it happens so frequently that I'm just like, they ask like, do you want to go to a secluded area? And I'm like, fuck it, just fucking do it right here.
Let's
Like,
just-
I know the deal. Fucking do
Let's just
it.
do it out here in front of everybody.
Down right now.
Hey,
Like,
ha-
I don't fucking care. Can I just go to my goddamn plane?
They scoped you out while you're in that line too. Oh, look at that one. She's getting randomly selected. Fucking perverts. And there's some dude. All I can think about is the South Park TSA episode. Where you got that dude in there surrounded by monitors, and he's jacking it to all the different videos and stuff. Yeah.
No.
I need to look inside
I
your
need
asshole.
to check your asshole.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. But they're getting a lot of shit because people are bringing guns and shit through. I guess they're planted to see if the TSA is doing their job, and people are bringing guns through. Federal agents are.
Yeah,
And
and
what-
they get through.
I wonder what happens if you're a fucking TSA dickweed and some FBI guy's got a pistol and he's posing as a fucking just a passenger and he gets through with the gun, what happens? What do they do?
I don't think anything. Because, like, honestly, has the TSA stopped anything from happening?
No.
No. So they're worthless. So let's just go back to the good old days where anyone could just walk up to the goddamn gate.
Yeah.
And, call it good.
And say your goodbyes to your loved ones as they get on the plane, without a boarding pass.
Yeah.
You used to be able to go all the way to the fucking gate without a boarding pass. And,
I remember.
I remember.
You remember? I remember. Oh, you remember Reagan? Yeah, I remember.
Oh, my God. So many South Park references. But the TSA's fucking stupid. And
oh, yeah.
I want to see the TSA's budget for the year 2017.
Ooh.
How much money they've been allocated by Congress.
Now, do they fall under Department of Transportation? Like the Coast Guard?
I don't know. I think that, the Coast Guard falls under Homeland Security.
I mean, technically.
Well, they do.
Would that be the TSA as well?
Let's not talk about the Puddle Pirates right now.
Coast Guard is the TSA.
I doubt it. It all makes sense now.
Oh, my God.
They're a bunch of overweight pogues. Who I identify with.
Right, damn it.
And I had one more story that I was gonna do, but I don't want to do it because it's a real bummer. And I don't want to end this segment on I want to end this segment on a high note about how the TSA is a bunch of fuckwits. I don't want to talk about this other crap. Plus we got our guest coming up tonight. If you just tuned in, tonight's guest, who will be here after the break, is retired Marine Corps Captain Dale Dye. He was in the Marine Corps for 20 years, started out as a private, ended up as a captain. He's the recipient of the Bronze Star Medal with V device and 3 Purple Hearts, and he earned all those in Vietnam. What, Minx, do you think Captain Dye's job was in the Marine Corps?
Airborne?
No.
I don't know.
You would think, right, that because
Marines don't do that, do they?
Yeah, some of them do.
Do they?
Yeah, some of the dudes from MARSOC have been to jump school. All right. Recipient of the Bronze Star for Valor and 3 Purple Hearts. He earned all those in Vietnam. What was his military occupational specialty?
Was he a pilot?
No.
A cook.
Mom, do you know?
No, Camo. I don't know.
You don't know?
Was he a cook?
Have you? No, he wasn't a cook. You've seen, everybody's seen Full Metal Jacket, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you remember Joker's character?
Maybe.
What did Joker do?
He was a journalist.
He was a combat journalist, and that's what Captain Dye did in the Marine Corps.
Nice.
Yeah, and got a Bronze Star for Valor and 3 Purple Hearts out of the deal.
What the fuck?
So don't write this dude off as a pogue. Because he was a journalist in Vietnam. This dude's kicked some ass. He's participated in 31 combat operations.
Holy fuck.
31. That's a lot.
Right? Count them.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Fifth. Yeah. See? Look at that. He was in, I think the most recent, I saw him in Range 15.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, the thing that I had seen him in most recently was when I rewatched for the 3rd time Band of Brothers. He played Colonel Sink.
Oh, I still need to watch that movie.
Yeah. Band of Brothers, the series. Yeah. You haven't seen it? You ain't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you need to go check that out. It's great.
I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan either.
What?
I know.
Oh, pass revoked.
Wait, I had a pass this weekend?
Yeah, you'll get the joke when you watch Band of Brothers. Let's take a break, everybody. When we come back, we'll have tonight's guest on, and then on 3rd hour of the show, we'll play on Mixer only, mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio. Only on Mixer will we play tonight's party games, so get over there for that. You can go over there during the break and check us out on Mixer. There's a few people watching over there. So
everybody's yelling at me.
Everybody's yelling at you. Why?
I think because I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan or,
Oh, yeah, you got to get your shit together.
I watched that in history class my junior year.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Am I that much older than you?
I'll be 34 at the end of the month.
Yeah, I am. Oh, my God. All right, everybody, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes with tonight's guest and more of the Monday edition right here on WTF Nation Radio.
Yeah, Daddy Ice is yelling at me. Make it stop.
Hey, this is Eric Stolhansky, otherwise known as Rabbit from Super Troopers, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF.
Okay, everybody, we're back. Thanks for sticking around through the break. Welcome back to the Monday edition here on WTF Nation Radio. We are currently joined by, I'm nervous. I got the jitters. Captain Dale Dines here. Sir, I don't know what else to say other than welcome to the show and to thank you for joining us tonight. I've been a fan. I've seen you involved in a number of things over the years, to include many things from my childhood, and I'm flabbergasted that you're here to talk to us tonight.
Redleg, thanks very much for making an issue out of how old I am. But I'm delighted to be with you and the lovely Amy the Minx here on WTF Nation radio. It's always great to get out there, and if we're talking to veterans, then I'm happy.
Well, you are talking to an almost exclusively veteran audience tonight. There are some active duty service members that are regular viewers and listeners of the program also, and the remainder of the viewership and listenership is civilian supporters of the military. So you're in good company tonight.
Yeah, kindred spirits, it sounds like.
Absolutely. And I got to admit, as long as I've been a fan of yours, I did not know two things. One of those things that I was unaware of was what you did in the Marine Corps. And the other thing that I was unaware of was that you originally started out as an enlisted man and worked your way all the way up to commission.
Yeah, I did. I'm what's known in the Marine Corps and in the Navy, and I think the Army uses the same term. I'm what's known as a Mustang.
Yes, sir, Mustang.
I came up through the hawse pipe. I was 13 years enlisted, made it to the rank of Master Sergeant, and then some of my commanding officers decided that no matter whether I was arguing about it or not, I needed to be an officer, and so they sent me to Quantico, and I went through OCS and the basic school, like all Marine officers do, and I came out commissioned a warrant officer. And then later on, once I finished my college degree, I was able to convert my commission and finished up as a captain.
And you were primarily as an enlisted man. Well, I guess almost exclusively as an enlisted man. You served in Vietnam, where you received a Bronze Star with a V device and 3 Purple Hearts. And I was speaking to the listening audience before we went into the break and kind of skimming your resume, so to speak, lest anybody get the wrong idea about you. Because unfortunately there's an attitude in the military that if you're not a grunt, then you don't measure up. But you weren't a grunt, so to speak, but here you are, having participated in 31 combat operations. Did you ever picture yourself in the midst of all of this combat when you were going to, I don't know what the Marine Corps calls it. Is it AIT in the Marine Corps also?
Well, it was in my day, it was ITR. They now call it School of Infantry. But let me see if I can explain this to you, Redleg, because you have to explain things to gun dummies.
Oh, all right. I guess I deserve
and
that.
So here was the deal. I started as an infantryman, as an 81 millimeter mortar guy. And then I got a little tired. I guess it was just my mentality. I got a little, it seemed so routine, and we were doing so many things that doing them over and over and over again. And I realized the importance of doing them. But I wanted to see more of the Marine Corps. I wanted to see more of all of the other things that the Marine Corps did. And I was, I guess I was one of those guys who always thought that the grass was greener on the other side of the hill. And so I discovered one of the most unique jobs in the Marine Corps. There were very few of them, and you had to kind of qualify to get into it. But I had a buddy, you know how that goes. And we were both lance corporals, I think at the time, or corporals. And he said, look, there's this thing called Marine Corps Combat Correspondent. And here's the hustle. If you're good, if you can write stories and take pictures, you can do anything in the world that the Marine Corps does. You can go any place in the world that the Marine Corps goes. And just as long as you can produce something out of it, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. And I thought that was really cool. So I went down and applied for it. They weren't very happy about me leaving the infantry at that time, but I managed to do it. And what I discovered was what I had been told was really true. I had found a niche, so to speak, where I could just on the pretext, I could go spend 4 or 5 days with an artillery outfitter. I could spend 4 or 5 days with an Amtrak or a tank outfit or an aviation outfit. And I could, as long as I could come back with something that was palatable and amenable to the Marine Corps, I could have a hell of a time. I could do anything I wanted to. And that really it kind of appealed to my wild horse mentality. And I went ahead and did it. What I didn't know at the time was that these guys, there was a reason they were called combat correspondents. When they sent me to Vietnam, I found out that I went to the 1st Marine Division up near the demilitarized zone. And what I discovered was the only way I could get along and do my job and do my duty was to be out there with the grunts. I had to be that extra rifleman. I had to hump the gear. I had to be there with them. I had to live through what they lived through in order to understand what was going on. And in order to come back to the rear for a couple of days, write about it, and then get out on the next operation. So it was kind of a run to the sound of the guns thing. And frankly, I loved it because I could see so many outfits. I could get to know so many people, and I could spend as long as I wanted to with them, or as long as I was able to survive. So anyway, that's kind of the story on it, Leg, if that helps.
Did you ever feel like you were being looked upon differently by the members of these outfits until you made contact with the enemy and had an opportunity to prove yourself?
Oh, sure. And you know, I think any attachment to a rifle company or a rifle platoon, and it doesn't make any difference what service, has to face that. And we knew it. And so the way you got around it was you humped extra gear. You walked as close to the point as you could get. And you showed them that you were competent and capable and willing to hump and do anything that they did. The last thing in the world you would ever want to do is to fall out or not be able to hack it. And it was a matter of pride with us. That's exactly what we wanted to prove and what we wanted to show. And we did that. I mean, there were only, in my outfit, there were only a dozen of us that ever did this. And so we got to be pretty well known throughout the units in the division. And as long as we were good, and as long as we helped, and as long as we were an asset and not a liability, we got adopted. They loved us. And the great thing was that, you know, you'd go back and visit that outfit, and you'd go back on the next operation, and 3 or 4 of them would hold up some little story that you had done about them, and it had come from the Keokuk, Iowa Daily Fish Wrapper, and they were just delighted with it. And you gave them that little touch of I guess long overdue and well-deserved light. And so I got to the point where I really loved the job.
So, you know, you kind of had to not only do your job, but then you had to prove yourself to these other Marines. But once you did, then you became an asset in terms of morale. Because, I mean, I guess you were doing a service to the people back home, but you're also doing a service to the guys out there on the front line, knowing that, you know, you're telling their story, and that's important.
Yeah, Redleg, that's exactly right. I mean, you hit it smack on the head. Nobody was telling their story. Look, there were, you know, you couldn't swing a cat in some places in Vietnam without hitting a civilian correspondent. But these guys were all interested in the darker side of the story, or they were all interested in the big picture, you know, big hands on little maps. That's the way to kill the chaps. And the poor little bastard, you know, humping a rifle and humping a ruck, his side of the story, his aspect of what was going on. That little vignette story about him doing something semi-heroic at the time, all that was getting ignored for the most part. And so we filled that gap. We jumped in there and told those stories. And that really made us popular with the guys.
I have a question here from one of our viewers. I'm going to read it verbatim. Hey, Captain, what was the caliber of the stones that you threw at those dinosaurs back in the day? I think somebody's being cute, but I think
it was 9.7 millimeter, and we had to try very hard to make sure that we picked up the appropriate amount of ammunition, because our magazine pouches in those days weren't built for 9.7, so we had to pick up the right kind of rock.
How long, Captain, before or after you'd separated from the Marine Corps was it that you got into the entertainment industry?
Well, it wasn't long. It was about a year. I worked for an outfit called Soldier of Fortune magazine for a year, and supposedly I was a reporter editor, although what I really was another hand to help train anti-Sandinista forces down in anti-communist forces down in Central America, in Honduras and El Salvador and Costa Rica. That job dried up with Iran-Contra, and so I really had to think of something else I could do, something I could bring to the table. And the interesting thing was that there wasn't much. I guess I could have been a cop, but I'd been shot too many times to want to, get back out on the main streets. I could have been a cubicle rat in corporate America, but I would have quickly killed myself if I had to do that. I'm just not that kind of guy. And so I began to try to find what I could bring to the table, that would keep me happy and healthy, and also make a little money and make me a valuable commodity. And the common denominator seemed to be that I was a movie buff. I'd seen, I think, practically every war movie there was. And the common denominator there was that the vast majority of them pissed me off. They just weren't us.
Right.
They weren't who we were. And it went deeper than the common mistakes, using an M16 in World War II, or having the ribbons on the right instead of on the left, or no haircut, or a beret that looks like a pizza plate. I mean, that everybody's seen that, especially our veterans and active duty guys have seen that, and it pisses them off just like it pisses me off. And I wondered, why? Because you would see at the end the credits on a film, you'd see technical advisor, Major Irving B. Umpty-Frats, U.S. Army retired or something. I said, well, is he stupid? Was he drunk? How could that happen? And so I decided, what the hell? I mean, listen, you can do a lot of things that people tell you can't do when you're ignorant. And Lord knows I was ignorant. So I came to L.A. and I began to sort of investigate this with the thought that, a good Marine can unscrew this. They screwed it up, I'll unscrew it. And of course, I had no idea how movies were made, or the hubris that was involved in Hollywood, or anything like that. But I knew that there was a way to fix this. I knew that I had the theory, and the theory was taught to me in Marine Corps boot camp, and it's been taught to, everybody else who's gone through basic military training. And I said, I've got to tell them being the big Hollywood establishment, that there's a better way to do this. And if you do it that way, you've got a story that is much more dramatic than what the writers can dream up, the writers who've never worn a uniform in their life or spent a day in the military. And you've got a story that would be full of human emotion. Because the one thing about the common element in combat is that it reveals the full gamut of human emotion, from absolutely the most horrible things that human beings can do to some of the most wonderful things that humans can do, and everything in between. And that's what I wanted to show. That's what I wanted audiences to see, movie and television audiences, because that's who we really are. That's our life. That's how we live. That's how we do things. That's how we relate to each other. And I felt that that was the missing element in most portrayals of soldiers. And the era doesn't matter. I just felt that element was missing, and I felt the way to fix it was to talk them into allowing me to take the actors and immerse them in what we were immersed in, to live in the field, to live as line dogs, to dig your own hole and live in it, and to, exist on maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours sleep a night, to be constantly on edge. And more importantly, to learn that unique factor that is so unique to military service, and that's our relationship with each other.
Right.
The right word for it is love, although most of us would, frown and say, you're a weenie. But it's really true. We learn to rely on the guy on our left and the guy on our right, and we know that he's there or she's there and will be, no matter what happens. And we're never alone. And that's a wonderful thing. That's something that civilians can't really understand because it's not part of their daily life, their daily existence. Not even cops or firefighters or first responders. It's unique to the military. And I wanted that element of our service to be seen. I wanted to be exposed because it's one of the most wonderful things about our existence, and there aren't that many. And so that was my idea. Let me find a way to get somebody to trust me and do it my way, and see if I can't expose that, see if I can't show that drama and that human emotion and that human element. And I got very lucky. Back in 85, I saw a notice that a heretofore relatively unknown writer-director by the name of Oliver Stone, who was himself an infantry combat veteran from Vietnam, was going to do a Vietnam story. And I said, well, there it is. If I can reach this guy, if I can talk to this guy, he'll understand what I'm trying to say. He'll understand the need to train these guys and to make them understand, not just on a superficial level, but on a deep emotional level and psychological level, who we were in Vietnam when we were 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And through a long and probably illegal set of circumstances, I was able to reach Oliver. And I explained this to him in my best 2-minute drill. And he got it. He said, yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the missing element. Can you do it? And I said, hell yes, I can do it. Just give them to me. And he did. He gave me 33 actors in 3 weeks. I took them into the mountains of the Philippines, in the Philippine jungle. And I had guys who later became famous, who are relatively well known now. I had Forrest Whitaker and Johnny Depp, Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe, all who are big names now. But they weren't then. They were struggling actors. And I took them into the jungle, and absolutely no contact with anybody. They lived for 3 weeks, and I pressed them hard. And the deal was, their day-to-day existence was, how do I stay away from that white-haired bastard? My God, all I need to do is survive him. And when I brought them down 3 weeks later, they were us. They were us in 1967, 68, 69. And Oliver knew that. And so I stayed at his shoulder and their shoulder throughout the filming of this little $5 million movie, which, you know, for anybody who reads the trade papers knows is not much. And we brought it home, and we blew everything right off the screen, won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. And Oliver was quite good in crediting much of that success to me and my methodology. And that was it. I mean, nothing succeeds like success in Hollywood, so it was onward and upward from there. That's long-winded, and I apologize. What's next?
That's long-winded, but I would not have wanted to hear that story told any other way. That's
No, not at all.
That's the part I think of motion pictures and the production thereof that a lot of people don't get to hear. They see the finished product, but they don't know that you took this group of actors, not veterans, but actors, and took them out to this intensive 3-week, I guess for lack of a better term, boot camp. And
it's what it's become called. I like to call it combat training, but it's been boot camp forever, and there you go. So okay.
So they got you instilled in them something that previously they didn't know anything about, which I guess was staying away from that white-haired bastard and just surviving another day out there. But that's, I think, I agree, Captain, that was, and sometimes in some cases still is, that element that's missing is that the people that have been selected to portray these roles don't really have any idea what it is that we do or have done. And it really, really shows on screen.
It does, Red Leg. And look, you know, I think at last count we've done about 50 movies now, and we always do it kind of my way. Sometimes better than others. I mean, we've done a few dogs in our life to pay the bills, but when we get it right, when we're able to see, actors are by nature, they're sort of like dry sponges. And if you don't teach them, what happens is they just perform, they mirror or mimic the last bad war movie they saw. And that can be, you know, a vicious circle. So you got to break that circle, and you got to grab them by the stacking swivel, unscrew their head, pour all the civilian crap all out of it, and then put the right stuff in. And that takes time and it takes immersion. But when you do it, they're very, very good at understanding those relationships, because that's what they deal with. They deal with emotion and they deal with psychology. And so when they get it through experience, they can't lie. Everything they do on camera is the truth to those of us who've experienced it. And that's really where I wanted to go, and that's still where I'm trying to get, especially with the new movie that I'm doing, No Better Place to Die.
All right, Minx, you're up. Minx has a question for you, sir.
Sure, shoot.
So Captain Dye, every time you're involved with a film or, you know, like television series or whatnot, you put the actors through this like boot camp, right? What is usually the reaction of the actors once you've put them through this ringer?
Well, look, there's essentially 2 type of actors that you deal with out here. One are serious young men and women who are devoted to their craft, and their craft is storytelling. Their craft, acting, is about convincing people that you're telling the truth when obviously you're lying because it's not your personal experience. That's what acting is. And you've got the type of people who really, that's them. That's what they want to do. And that's their calling. That's their love. Those people love what we do. They look at it as the practical experience that life has not given them. They look at it as a real raw experience that can teach them things. And so they're great students. And then there's the other side of the coin. And that's young men and women whose whole attraction to the whole Hollywood thing is sex, drugs, and rock and roll, who are focused on wanting to become a star, and wanting all the adulation and popularity and attention that brings. Those folks don't get it. They're never going to get it. And there's not much I can do. They'll try to BS me. They'll try to get through it. But I've been raising other people's children for 30 years. I get that. And I know exactly who they are. And so they don't benefit from it. But the neat thing is, for the most part, in things like Saving Private Ryan and Platoon and Band of Brothers and the Pacific, I've had young actors who really want to tell a story and who will really go as far as I want to take them to learn what that story's about and to portray it on screen. So I've been blessed for the most part to get the good guys.
Oh, that's awesome. And then kind of like a follow-up question. I know you were involved with Range 15. Since like all the actors are veterans, were you able to take kind of like a little bit of a break or like a sideline approach when it came to training them for this?
Yeah, I was. I didn't do any training for Range 15. They called me one day and told me, "Hey, listen, we got all these great veterans and Medal of Honor recipients and disabled, wounded veterans, and we're doing this great film." And I said, "Oh, hell yeah, listen, what can I do to help?" And they said, "Well, it's this zombie apocalypse story." And I said, "Aha. And what would you have me do?" And they said, "Well, we want you to play the President of the United States." And I got to thinking about it, and I was talking to my wife about it. She said, "Listen, you're the most typecast guy in Hollywood. You've played everything from, sergeant through the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Here's your opportunity to be POTUS. Run your ass down there and be the President of the United States." So I did, and it was a lot of fun.
I like your wife.
Yeah, he's like your.
Yeah, she's a good gal. Yeah.
She's a take charge kind of gal.
Yeah.
So, sir, at what point did you, I guess, take the leap from technical advisor into acting? And was that by accident or was that by design?
A little of both, frankly. I really had no great designs on being an actor. My focus was on training actors to be me or guys like me. And what happened, essentially, truthfully, was that directors saw me training. And training, as you'll all remember, the guys you really remember and who trained you well are the guys who kind of entertained you, who did a little performance. And they weren't schmaltzy, they were good. They got your attention and they hooked you. And I've always thought teaching and training is a performance. And so I do that. And they see me and they say, we could probably save a little money by just drafting that idiot to come in here and say the lines. Hell, he's saying them right now. Let's get him. And so I kind of got drafted into it. It started with Platoon, really, where I play Captain Harris, the company commander. And Oliver Stone's direction to me was simply, do what the hell you do. And I said, okay. So I did. And it was interesting. My performance in that film got some recognition from the critics, who said I brought some verisimilitude, that's one of their favorite words, to the performance. And suddenly I had a second career. And I thought about it and I said, if my agenda really is to do whatever I can to bring some long overdue light and some much deserved recognition to America's men and women in uniform, then I should do it in any way I can. So I can train them or I can portray them. And either way, as long as I do it right, the mission is accomplished. And so I decided, oh, what the hell? If they really want me to be an actor, and I'm not completely hideous, I'll go ahead and do it. And onward and upward, as they say.
Is okay? No Better Place to Die is what is your latest project? Is that based on the book?
Loosely.
Loosely, okay.
I did not write the script from Bob Murphy's book, but I used elements of other official reports, a little bit from Murphy, from Ed Ruggiero's book, First Men In, and I had studied the Lafayette fight in World War II, D-Day, while I was still in uniform, still on active duty, because it's a microcosmic look at what a bunch of privates, PFCs, and little guys in the rear with a rusty rifle can do when they all come together and they've got a mission and they get it done. They adapt, they improvise, they overcome. And I always thought it was a classic example of that. And so I wanted to tell that story. So at one point, I wrote the script and did it kind of in the Hollywood fashion. I shopped it around. Yeah, but, World War II movies are so expensive and you don't have any stars and you want to direct it and you've only done second unit directing and yada, 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 and whine and cry the poor ass in typical Hollywood reaction. Because Hollywood's always looking, they have to spend so much money on a film that they're always looking for insurance. And the insurance is a name actor or a name director, or in this case, or in the case lately, it's animation or a superhero. I didn't have any of those things. I just had a great war story. And so it really I worked on it for 6 years trying to sell it and trying to get it done. But I refused to just sell out and turn it over to somebody else. I've spent the last 25 years learning filmmaking from the best in the business. Spielberg and John Frankenheimer and Tom Hanks and Oliver Stone and on and on and on. And they've been kind enough to teach me how to do this. So I knew, given that and my own experience behind the camera as a military advisor, I could do this better than anybody else in the world can do it. And so I insisted that I would direct it. Having written it, I would direct it. Well, that wasn't meeting with Hollywood standard. And so I worked for like 6 years. At one point, we actually had the film set up and getting ready to run in France. We were going to shoot it on the actual battlefields. And then the money fell out. And so I finally got really, really frustrated. And I said, what we need to do here is think a bit out of the box. And at the same time, over the years, I had been getting emails and phone calls and letters from young men and women, veterans, who were trying to break into show business, either as actors or technicians. And they found it such a closed shop, such a little club that didn't want to give anybody a shot, didn't want to give anybody a chance, particularly veterans. And I thought, here's my opportunity. Let's take this film, No Better Place to Die, and let's make it a film done by veterans, for veterans, and we'll hire as many veterans as we can in front of the camera and behind the camera. Let's do it that way. Let's use it as a showcase, not only for a great war story that celebrates our heritage as military men, but as a launching platform for young veterans who are trying to break into showbiz. Nobody will hire them. I will. And so we decided to do that. And then we ran up against the next major problem, which was, this is going to take us about $25 million to do this right. Because we've got to do all of the airborne assaults and people coming out of the doors of C-47s and it's really the airborne. The first parts of the film are really the airborne version of Saving Private Ryan. We're going to do in the air and with parachutists, the 82nd, what we did with the First Division and Rangers on the beach at Omaha on Saving Private Ryan. So that's going to take a lot of computer generated imagery and so on and so forth. So it's expensive. And we've got to raise some money for it. We have to raise enough money to really get out there. In other words, you use the money that you raise initially to as kind of earnest to talk to the big money guys and say, look, we have huge support for this among the veteran community, among people who understand and love our military. And they gave us their money. Look, here it is. So now we want you, big shot Hollywood guy investor, to give us your money so we can make this film. And that's broad brush and probably not an accurate description of how it's done. But that's what we're trying to do. And we've had enormous support. We've got 3 or 4 sites on the internet, and they're just lit up. People are sending us what they can. Nickels and dimes is fine. You know, we're happy with that because it really shows us that, as you said, Redleg, early on, America is ready for this. It's time. If the recent elections haven't shown that, I don't know what will. But America has found its voice, the American heartland, the flyover people who've been ignored for so long. They've found their voice. And we want to be the movie that is their voice. And so I forget what the hell the question was, but there I am, and I'm on that soapbox, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, I know that a quick Google search for No Better Place to Die will turn up, because I did this before the show, will turn up an Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah.
So that's one place where people can go and help support the film. Let me see if I can answer this phone call. It's touch and go with this doggone phone system, but
Give it a shot.
I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Who's this? It's broken, as usual. We'll just wait for that to peter out, and then we'll
Reach out with your right hand, grasp the operating rod handle, snatch it smartly to the rear, wrap that bang. Sorry, I was coaching.
So I've got 2 questions for you, Captain Dye.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you like the nickname that was given to you by the film industry as Hollywood's drill sergeant? Because
Well,
being an NCO is a compliment.
Look, I think any name besides "you dirty bastard" that Hollywood gives me is probably pretty good. I would have rather they said drill instructor, since I'm a Marine, but I'll take it. No, it doesn't bother me. And if Hollywood
Oh my goodness! I need to turn that off.
what was that? Was that a round of applause?
It was. It was.
Okay.
It was for you.
So that was one part of the question. Was there another part?
Yeah, I've got a question from someone who wants to know if you need jump masters.
I need all kinds of people, but it's just too early right now. Yes, I need jump masters. Yes, I need jump.
That's awesome.
But here's the thing.
Do that.
When I get the money in place, so that I know we can roll this film without running out of money and disappointing everybody, then I'm going to put out a call for veterans around the world. There's only so many billets and slots and so on and so forth, but I am going to try to hire as many real veterans in front of camera and behind the camera. And so, and Lord knows there'll be volunteers all over the place. I know, because they're already writing to me. And that's great. That's really gratifying. Do I need jump masters? Yeah, hell yes. I need everybody who's got the spirit of this thing inside them.
Just so happens we know a jump master.
We may or may not know one.
I may not need any artillerymen though, Red Leg. You might want to.
Well, I mean,
What about medical?
I'd be happy to just come out to the set and watch you and do what you do, your craft.
Cool.
That would suit the hell out of me.
Well, come on.
Oh
What about
man,
medical?
this is great. Medical.
Medics. Absolutely. In fact, there's a featured role for a medic. And I'm going to try to get a real one to do it. Although we'll probably have to untrain him because medics today are so great. Medics and Navy corpsmen are so great today. And they know so much more than the poor guys in World War II, in 1944, who was, slap a bandage on it and give them a couple of aspirin. That was and haul them out of the line of fire. But yes, we will need medics. Absolutely.
This the film No Better Place to Die. What time frame? I mean, are we talking about the jump into that was Lafayette Bridge, right? That's Saint Mary Lee.
Yep. Saint Margulies.
Saint Margulies. I'm not very good at French.
Yes, clearly.
I'm not very good at English. So this is going to take place from the jump in until how far in?
Early in the morning on D-Day, June 6, 1944. A night jump over Normandy. We'll stay with one company of the 82nd. It's Able Company, 1st of the 505th. Interestingly, this fight in Normandy, and we'll cover them from that day, June 6th, till about June 9th or 10th, when the big push across the Lafayette Causeway took place. And that was with the help of the 325th Glider Infantry, which was the Glider Infantry Regiment of the 82nd Airborne Division. So you're going to see glider riders for the first time. We're actually going to show the gliders and the controlled crashes and the guys who came out of them. So that's the period that we'll be covering. I think we've just about done all of the coverage. We can't. This is not a documentary, obviously, and we can't. We have to kind of compress some things that happened, and we're doing that. But we're going to try to stay as true to the spirit of what happened in that fight at Lafayette and the Causeway as we possibly can. But it's June 6th through about June 9th or 10th, 1944.
Okay. So with Band of Brothers, the 101st got their shot at fame, and now it's the 82nd.
And boy, I have never heard the end of that. I mean, I'm an honorary member, and very gratefully so, of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment. The Army saw fit this year to honor me as an honorary member of the regiment. But the 82nd guys, when I go down to Fort Bragg, the 82nd guys, they will tear my ass off. Hey, Captain Dye, come on. All these guys did, you got Band of Brothers, when's our shot? Well, this is your shot. No better place to die. 82nd Airborne.
There's no end of contention between those two outfits because the 101st is no longer airborne.
Airborne.
They're air assault.
They're air mobile, air assault. Yeah.
And the 82nd doesn't let them forget it either. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to see that the 82nd is going to get their shot on the big screen, and I'm sure everybody that's either is or has been a part of the 82nd Airborne Division is going to be grateful that they're finally getting their story told.
I think so. I'm certainly hearing from them, and I hope I don't let them down.
So I would, here in the waning few minutes of this segment of the show, I would like to, because Captain Dye has been so gracious to join us for an hour here tonight, I'd like to encourage the viewing and listening audience to go support the project. Like I said, if you can go to Google and you can type in No Better Place to Die, you will find the Indiegogo campaign, and Captain Dye has already made it clear that nickels and dimes, whatever you got, will help. I got to admit, I did not know that your intention was to use this as kind of a jumping off point for the veteran community that wants to be involved in the entertainment industry, and that you intend to employ in front of and behind the camera, primarily veterans, and that's
Yeah, and the other thing, Redleg, just before you jump into the break, we're also if there's any profit, and God knows I hope there will be, we're going to give some of it back to veterans' causes.
That's outstanding. So, I mean, to see someone who's been so successful in Hollywood use
Who would that be?
That would be you, sir.
You?
Use his notoriety and his good standing and his good name in Hollywood to give back to and to recognize the veteran community, I think is doing all of us a service, because you made a good point that everybody here in Middle America is tired of not having a voice and tired of being passed over and overlooked. Yeah. And I think that the work that you're doing with this project and within the veteran community should not go unappreciated. And as long as I have this voice on this radio station, it will not go unappreciated.
Well, thank you, guys.
And
Now, I did post the links
Oh,
in
yeah.
Facebook and in the other chats.
yes,
Aha! No wonder they call you the Minx.
well, that's
Oh, no, that's me.
the other one's the minx.
Oops,
I got minxes coming out of my ears over here.
I'm standing here looking at this picture, and perhaps I shouldn't. Okay, sorry.
Captain Dye, I have been looking forward to this interview tonight for ever since I was told that it was going to happen, and I'm honored to have had an opportunity to speak with you, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And if ever you would like to come back on the show again, it would be my pleasure.
We'll see what the audience has to say.
Oh my gosh, please.
We'll poll the audience. Sir, thank you very much, and
Sure.
I hope that we can assist with the project in some way.
Appreciate any help we can get, and you guys have been more than kind. Just to offer me the forum to talk about some of these things. That's really what it is. You know, our veterans need a forum, and I intend to give it to them in any way I can.
Well, we appreciate that, sir. I mean, the veterans need that, and I want to tell before you go, sir. I'm going to tell the listening audience, everybody, stick around. Tonight we're going to do the rest of the show over on Mixer. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, head on over there now. We'll get it cranked back up here in a few moments. And I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to talk to Captain Dye off the air while the rest of you listen to music. Don't go anywhere. There's still another hour of the show coming up right here on WTF Nation Radio.
Looking up and fading out, cirrus shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown, nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life and it's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me?
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
You're listening to Red Leg on the voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments. WTF Nation Radio.
Wished you could crawl out to the edge, hang there by your thread, and I feel so high I can't shake it off. 7 years, and I feel so high I can't shake it off. Can't feel my face when I'm talking to you. Beneath the skin, screaming, let me in. Don't know who you are, haunted by your scars.
All right, the votes are in, and we're going to play Quiplash first. If you're not, oh my God, Pro Buzzard, follow the channel. If you're not over at, what the hell is it, mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio, that's where you need to be to play. If you are on Mixer, this video is going to stop for just a minute. I got to restart it. I got to disconnect from all these other servers, so games only at mixer.com/WTF Nation Radio. Yes. For everyone else, the video and audio is going to end. We'll see you over at the Mixer channel so you can all participate in tonight's games. Everybody stick around. I'm going to restart it right now.